Welcome, everyone. I hope you're doing well and feeling great today. Get ready, because you're about to hear one of the most incredible stories in the world, the story of Buddha. This is a man whose timeless teachings have influenced over 500 million people across the globe. The sacred lands of India to the majestic mountains of Nepal, and bustling cities in China to serene temples in Japan, and all the way to Thailand and beyond. Buddha's life continues to inspire millions of hearts and minds today. But here's something even more amazing, and this is where the curiosity really kicks in. This story isn't just about a historical figure who lived thousands of years ago. It's about you. Yes, you. Because the profound lessons Buddha taught aren't just for monks or people from ancient times. They are powerful, practical lessons that can change your life today, no matter where you are from, what your struggles are, or what language you speak. And guess what? While you're listening, you're also going to effortlessly improve your English. That's right. My friends, as you immerse yourself in this captivating story, you'll be learning new words, useful phrases, and life-changing wisdom. If you're ready to unlock the power of Buddha's story and at the same time learn English in a fun and exciting way, make sure to subscribe to our channel right now. Here we offer amazing stories, impactful book summaries, and life-changing lessons, all designed to help you rapidly improve your English. So sit back, relax, and get ready for a journey that will not only change the way you think, but also help you speak better English. Let's dive in. Let's go back in time, once upon a time, in a beautiful kingdom called Lumbini, which was part of India that time. Now it's part of Nepal. A baby boy was born who was destined to change the world forever. His name was Siddhartha Gautama, but later he would be known to the world as Buddha, the enlightened one. Siddhartha was born to King Suddhodana and Queen Maya, who were rulers of the Shakya clan. And the moment he was born, my friends, something truly extraordinary happened. It's said that when Siddhartha's mother, Queen Maya, gave birth, she was standing in a beautiful garden, and as she held the baby in her arms, the trees bowed down and flowers bloomed all around her. This event was seen as a clear sign that this child was special, truly a unique soul. The baby Siddhartha was incredibly beautiful, with a glowing face that seemed to shine like the moon. And here's where the destiny unfolds. At his birth, a wise prophet predicted that this baby would either become a great king or a spiritual teacher who would bring profound peace to the world. However, the king, his father, had a different plan. He did not want Siddhartha to become a spiritual teacher. He wanted him to be a powerful king, just like him. To ensure this, King Suddhodana surrounded Siddhartha with unimaginable luxury. He kept him inside the palace walls, providing him with the best education, the finest clothes, and anything he could ever desire. The palace was a haven, full of beautiful gardens, attentive servants, and entertaining performers. Siddhartha grew up enjoying all of this. No pain, no suffering, no hardship. His father firmly believed that if Siddhartha was never exposed to the outside world, he would never experience the harsh realities of life and would naturally choose to be a king. As Siddhartha grew older, his beauty and charm became widely known, and many people admired him. He had everything a person could want: wealth, comfort, friends, and a loving family. But here's the critical turning point. Deep inside him, there was always a subtle feeling that something was missing. One day, Siddhartha's curiosity got the better of him. He asked his father if he could go outside the palace walls. His father was reluctant, but finally agreed, thinking that seeing the outside world would only show Siddhartha how lucky he was to live in such a privileged environment. So Siddhartha set out on his journey, excited to see what lay beyond the palace gates. But what he saw that day would change his life forever. As he rode through the streets of the city, he saw things he had never ever seen before. The first thing he noticed was an old man, walking slowly with a tired face and deeply wrinkled skin. Siddhartha was genuinely shocked. He had never seen someone so old before. He immediately asked his charioteer, "What is this?" The charioteer replied, "This is what happens to all of us, master. We grow old and weak." Siddhartha was utterly confused. He had never thought about growing old. He always believed that life was perfect, that everyone lived happily forever. As they continued their journey, they saw something else that profoundly troubled Siddhartha. A sick man lying by the road, groaning and suffering in pain. Siddhartha asked, "What is wrong with him?" The charioteer explained, "This is disease, and it can affect anyone, no matter how rich or poor." Siddhartha's heart grew heavy. He began to truly realize that the world was not as perfect as he had thought. People grow old, people get sick, and people die. His perfect life inside the palace now seemed like a fragile dream compared to the harsh reality outside. But there was even more to see. As they continued, Siddhartha saw a dead body lying on the ground. People were crying and mourning around it. Siddhartha asked, "What is this?" "This is death," the charioteer replied, "and all living beings will eventually experience it." Siddhartha felt a deep, piercing pain in his heart. He realized that everyone, absolutely everyone, must face old age, sickness, and death. And no matter how rich or powerful you are, you simply cannot escape these fundamental truths. Now pay close attention, because this is where the path begins to reveal itself. Finally, they came across a monk sitting peacefully under a tree. This monk had no money, no family, no palace. He was dressed in simple robes and was completely calm, with a serene, peaceful smile on his face. Siddhartha asked, "Who is this man? Why is he so peaceful?" The charioteer replied, "This is a holy man, a seeker of truth. He is at peace because he has let go of his desires and accepted the reality of life." This single moment changed Siddhartha forever. He realized that wealth and luxury could not bring true happiness. Peace and freedom could only be found by understanding the truth of life, by accepting its realities. And that was when Siddhartha made a life-changing decision. He would leave the palace, leave his family, and set out on a profound journey to find the ultimate truth of life, to understand why people suffer and how they could truly find lasting peace. After Siddhartha's eye-opening experiences in the city, there was simply no going back to his life of luxury. The palace, his father's kingdom, the comfort, everything he had ever known seemed utterly pointless now. He realized that life was much more than just fleeting pleasures, and he had to find a deeper truth that could help him overcome suffering. The pain of seeing old age, sickness, and death in the world had awakened something profound deep inside him. Siddhartha felt an undeniable urge to discover the answers to these fundamental questions about life. He had everything: wealth, family, love. But it wasn't enough. True happiness, he believed. Siddhartha traveled for many days and nights with nothing but the clothes on his back. He found himself in a dense forest where he met many holy men, known as ascetics, who had also left the material world to search for enlightenment. These ascetics believed that the only way to find truth was through extreme self-denial and suffering. They would fast for long periods, live in discomfort, and meditate for hours without moving. They believed that by suffering, they would purify themselves and come closer to spiritual enlightenment. Siddhartha joined them and began following their practices. For years, he lived in the harshest conditions, meditating for hours on end, not eating enough, and pushing his body to the absolute limit. He genuinely believed that by denying his body's needs, he could find the ultimate truth. But after a long, arduous struggle, he realized something incredibly important. Self-denial was not the answer. He was becoming weaker and weaker, his body so thin that he could barely stand. Yet his mind was still not at peace. He had learned that extreme suffering didn't lead to enlightenment. It only led to pain and exhaustion. One day, Siddhartha collapsed from hunger and weakness. A kind woman named Sugata found him lying near a river. She compassionately gave him some milk rice, and Siddhartha drank it with profound gratitude. The milk rice nourished him, and in that moment of returning strength, he had a crucial realization. Balance was the key to finding peace. Extreme fasting and self-denial were not the answers. Instead, he needed to take care of his body and mind in a balanced way. So Siddhartha decided to take a new approach to his search. He understood that peace and enlightenment didn't come from suffering, nor did it come from living a life of excessive luxury. It came from finding the middle path, a way of living that was balanced, where you could still experience life but without being attached to its fleeting pleasures or its inevitable pains. Now Siddhartha set out for Bodh Gaya, where he would sit under a famous tree, known today as the Bodhi tree, and meditate until he found the answers he was looking for. This was the most important moment of his entire life. He found a comfortable place under the Bodhi tree, sat down, and made a solemn vow. He promised that he would not rise until he had found the truth. He was utterly determined. The Buddha's first teaching was to share these profound insights with others. He wanted to help all beings understand the causes of suffering and, more importantly, how to end it. Here's a quick breakdown of these incredibly powerful truths that can reshape your understanding of life. 1. Suffering, dukkha, exists. Life is undeniably full of suffering. Whether it's physical pain, emotional struggles, or the inevitable aging and death we all face, no one can truly escape these challenges, no matter how much we try to avoid them. It's a fundamental reality of existence. 2. Suffering has a cause. The root cause of all suffering is desire and attachment. We suffer because we crave things: wealth, fame, love, material possessions. We become deeply attached to ideas, relationships, and specific outcomes. And when these things inevitably change or disappear, we experience pain and suffering. 3. Suffering can end. The good news, the truly hopeful message, is that suffering can be ended. By letting go of desire and attachment, we can find genuine inner peace. This isn't about escaping the world or becoming emotionless. It's about changing how we react to the world and its constant flux. 4. The path to the end of suffering. The way to end suffering is by following the Eightfold Path. This is a practical, clear guide to living a life of balance, profound wisdom, and deep compassion. The Eightfold Path includes right view, understanding the true nature of life, suffering, and these very truths. Right intention, making decisions based on kindness, compassion, and wisdom, not selfishness. Right speech, speaking truthfully and kindly, actively avoiding lies or harmful words. Right action, acting ethically and with integrity, avoiding harmful behaviors towards self or others. Right livelihood, choosing a career or life path that does not harm others. Right effort, cultivating good qualities within yourself and actively avoiding bad ones. Right mindfulness, being fully aware of the present moment, truly mindful of your thoughts, feelings, and actions. Right concentration, developing deep meditation and focusing the mind to achieve clarity. These teachings became the very foundation of Buddhism. The Buddha firmly believed that anyone, absolutely anyone, could practice the Eightfold Path and find peace and freedom from suffering, no matter where they came from or what their background was. It was, and still is, all about personal transformation, and it was available to all. Buddha's first disciples. After his enlightenment, Buddha realized he could not keep his newfound wisdom to himself. The world desperately needed to hear it. He went to the city of Varanasi, where he met his first 5 disciples, a group of ascetics who had once practiced the harsh ways of self-denial with him. They had witnessed his extreme suffering and thought he had given up on his search for truth. But now, Buddha was radiating with the profound wisdom of the universe. At first, they were skeptical. How could the man who had once practiced extreme asceticism now teach a completely new way? But as Buddha began speaking to them, they began to truly listen. His words were powerful, calming, and filled with deep insight. Buddha shared the 4 Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path with them, explaining that they did not need to punish their bodies to find peace. Instead, they needed to cultivate mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom. Balance was the key, not extremes. One by one, his disciples began to understand. They realized that Buddha had truly found the way to end suffering, and they wanted to follow him. The Buddha's first 5 disciples became the first members of his monastic community, known as the Sangha. Together, they would spread his transformative teachings to the world. Buddha's compassionate nature. What made Buddha's teachings so incredibly special was not just the wisdom in his words, but his deeply compassionate heart. Buddha wasn't interested in just sharing knowledge. He was genuinely interested in helping people change their lives for the better. He didn't just preach the teachings from a high pedestal, he lived them. Buddha showed people that by practicing the 4 Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, they could transform their suffering into profound peace. He helped countless individuals, from rich kings to poor beggars, from young children to old men, understand the path to true happiness and inner peace. One of the most beautiful aspects of Buddha's teachings is his non-judgmental nature. He welcomed everyone into his community, no matter their social status, background, or beliefs. In his eyes, everyone had the potential to find enlightenment, and he treated everyone with the same boundless love and respect. Buddha's family and the middle path. Despite his journey of seeking enlightenment, Buddha did not forget about his family. His wife, Yasodhara, and his son Rahula were still living in the palace. When they heard that Siddhartha had become the Buddha, they were deeply moved. Yasodhara had once shared Siddhartha's dreams and desires, but now she understood the profound wisdom in his journey. Yasodhara herself became an important figure in the early community of Buddhists. She understood that true happiness didn't come from wealth or attachment to material things, but from inner peace and compassion. Rahula, Siddhartha's son, also later became a monk, following his father's path of enlightenment. As Buddha continued his journey, the years passed, and his teachings began to spread far and wide. His influence grew stronger, not just in the land of his birth, but across different kingdoms and regions. He didn't just teach people through words, but through the way he lived. Humble, peaceful, and filled with profound compassion. He didn't want people to simply listen to him, but to understand, to practice, and to experience the teachings for themselves. His followers were incredibly diverse, rich and poor, kings and beggars, men and women. Buddha accepted all. His message was universal, transcending the boundaries of caste, wealth, and even nationality. What made Buddha's teaching so powerful was his ability to connect with people from every walk of life. His words were simple yet profound, and his life was the greatest example of his message. The importance of meditation and mindfulness became cornerstones of his teachings. Buddha's last words. As Buddha's life drew to its natural conclusion, he knew that his time was approaching. His body had aged, and the physical pain that comes with old age had begun to settle in. Yet, despite all this, he remained as calm and serene as ever, a true testament to the teachings he had shared for so long. He had already reached the pinnacle of human wisdom and compassion, and his death, like his life, was filled with profound lessons for his followers. In his final moments, surrounded by his loyal disciples, his mind was clear and his heart was at peace. The final words that Buddha spoke were among the most profound teachings he had ever shared. He turned to his followers and, in his calm, serene voice, said, "Be a light unto yourselves. Strive on with diligence. You must work out your own salvation with diligence. Nothing in the world is permanent. All things arise and pass away. Your life is but a fleeting moment. Seek your own liberation. The truth is already within you." These words were a final call for his disciples and all those who would follow his path. Buddha wasn't telling them to rely on external things or on any man or being. Instead, he was urging them to look within themselves for the answers, to find their own truth, and to strive for liberation from suffering. It was an invitation to live life with wisdom and compassion, to be the master of one's own mind and actions. Buddha died peacefully, entering parinirvana, the final deathless state, free from the cycle of birth and rebirth. His death was a moment of profound calmness and acceptance, a reflection of everything he had lived for. Even in his passing, Buddha remained an embodiment of his teachings: impermanence, acceptance, and mindfulness. The lasting legacy. As we come to the end of Buddha's incredible journey, we are left with the most important lessons that he has shared with us. Lessons that continue to guide millions of people all around the world. Let us reflect on 3 of Buddha's most important life lessons that can truly change your life for the better. 1. Be present. Buddha taught us that the present moment is where true peace lies. Don't dwell on the past or endlessly worry about the future. Focus on today. Live with awareness and embrace each moment as it comes. 2. Let go of attachments. Letting go of our attachments is key to finding true freedom. Buddha showed us that nothing in life is truly permanent, so holding on to things or people can only bring pain. Learn to live with an open heart, free from the chains of attachment. 3. Live with compassion and love. Buddha's teachings powerfully remind us to show love and kindness to all beings. By practicing compassion, we create a ripple effect of goodness that can truly heal the world. So, what can we truly take away from Buddha's incredible journey? We learn that, like Buddha, we too can face our challenges with wisdom, calmness, and a peaceful heart. We have the inherent power to transform our lives, no matter what obstacles stand in our way. Buddha's story is not just his. It's a universal story of every human being, showing us that we can rise above suffering and find inner peace. As you go about your day, remember Buddha's timeless teachings. Live in the moment, let go of attachments, practice love and compassion. Know that you are the master of your own peace and happiness. Thank you for joining me today to explore Buddha's extraordinary life and teachings. I hope you found profound inspiration in his story. Remember, no matter where you are in life, you have the power to change your story. We'll continue this journey of learning and growth together. See you tomorrow, where we'll explore more life-changing lessons and motivational stories that will help you grow and improve your life. Until then, stay peaceful, stay wise, and most importantly, stay compassionate. You have the power to create the life you dream of.